The following portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by Foundations Integrated Medical and Sports Health, home of Muncy Family Chiropractic. As the COVID pandemic continues and hopefully starts to wane, there are those that are dealing with long COVID and post-COVID symptoms. Well, this morning, Dr. Todd Muncy with Foundations Integrated Medical and Sports Health, home of Muncy Family Chiropractic, is here to share with us how they are helping those folks that are post-COVID. Good to see you again, Doc.
Hey, good to see you. So much to talk about in so little time.
Post-COVID, I mean, there are issues that folks are dealing with once they get rid of COVID.
Yes, you know, one time I was on the show and we mentioned the research project that I was working on people that were having high heart rates and low respiration rates, and we were able to work with that and reverse that. But we're also seeing a lot of people having a lot of chronic fatigue syndromes.
There was a lot of fatigue when I had COVID almost a month ago, and the fatigue stays with you.
It does. And people with a chronic cough or even a sinus congestion that keeps repeating itself. And so what we're doing is we're putting these people on the proper nutrition system and vitamins and supplements. We also are working with them with IV therapy with nutrients and supplements like that. But the main thing is that we're looking at way we were created, basically. We're looking to the inside to help the body heal. So we're looking at the spine and nerve system as a chiropractor. We want to look at that to see if it causes dysfunction, because anytime we get a big disease process in our body, or even a new disease process, it creates dysfunction inside of us.
Right.
And people that are vulnerable, and we see that a lot with COVID, you know, some of us were real vulnerable and some of us were not. Our body reacts harshly to it, trying to defend itself. So what we want to do is find out what has happened with it and then try to help the patient heal through spinal adjusting, nutrition therapy, diet, things like that, because we're getting great results with it, and people are starting to heal. And we need to go now from this crisis that we're in to transitioning more into our lifestyle where we belong.
I was going to ask you about that. It's going to be a transition for all of us when we get through this pandemic, but there are things that you can do to help improve your lifestyle.
Absolutely. You know, I watched this weekend, we had talked before about being the most vulnerable. I'd seen something this weekend on another show in the monologue. He talked about it's time for us to get over COVID and learn what we need to do to treat and help the most vulnerable population. And I was hit with an epiphany about that point. We do need to treat the most vulnerable. We do need to help the most vulnerable. What we need to do most is teach the most vulnerable how not to be the most vulnerable. And what we do in our office is, you know, we have lifestyle coaching. We teach people how to get healthy, stay healthy, and be healthy. We work with people at the base of their health with their spine nerve system and their immune system to help them heal.
I don't think people realize, you know, being an advocate for chiropractic, how much it can help to just get adjusted with your entire being.
Absolutely. When the body's under stress, like I said, and interference gets put in, that affects up the pathway of the nerve. And I'm going to try to keep it as simple as I can. From the point of origin of the virus or bacteria, or whatever it is that affects our body, the injury, that sends a signal up to the brain via the spine and nerve system. Okay? Then a signal has to come back out to tell us how to respond. Well, if the signal's too heavy coming in, it will cause, you know, misappropriation of the spine, or a misalignment, or even muscle spasms that pull the spine out of line, which creates this cycle of interference where that communication pathway doesn't work well. So what we want to do is try to remove that interference. And as a chiropractor, that's exactly what we do, is remove the interference and allow the body to heal itself.
All right, Dr. Todd Muncy, great information. We can talk about this all day, but I want to give everybody the information about Foundations Integrated Medical and Sports Health, home of Muncy Family Chiropractic. They're located right there in Bristol, Virginia. He would love to hear from you. Give them a call. Check out their website as well. Great information post-COVID.